day. From U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, this is the National Football League.
Spread between 4th and 6th Streets in downtown Minneapolis. We welcome you inside spacious U.S. Bank Stadium. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you from our broadcast perch. And Charles, as we get this thing started, what are you going to be keeping your eye on?
Special teams. Field position is always a big determiner in a ball game. Who sets their offense up for success the best? That team will win the game.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. St. Brown in motion right. And they're going to give it to him on the jet sweep. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down. But defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
A man who was the Georgia State High School Player of the Year in 2020. Here's Jahmyr Gibbs. He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. Didn't get it by much, but bottom line got the first down. Avoiding that 3 and out, how vital is that on the first drive?
To me, it's like the first round of a boxing match. You know, it may not mean much right then and there, but you'd rather not lose it, right? So you want to go ahead and get it, kind of establish something early, and hope it can carry through.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be second down. Goff now to throw, and that's hauled in by St. Brown over the middle. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Goff to St. Brown for the Detroit first down. They'll set up to throw. This to Laporta, right side. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
To the air again. Goff. That throw taken in by Jamison Williams. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
Trying the left side with Gibbs. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. 2 yards the loss, and now they go from 2nd and 2 to a tough 3rd and 4.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
Over the middle, complete. It's Gibbs. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches. They'll try and run for it. And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed he did not. They stop him. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. Leading them out is their 6'3" quarterback, the 3rd overall selection in 2018, Sam Darnold.
And the thing with Sam Darnold is we know the skill set is there. May not be the most mobile or strongest arm quarterback in the league, but usually plays with really good poise, and at his best, like a point guard in basketball, able to move around and distribute the rock.
Meanwhile, Darnold's throw taken in by Hawkinson here. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. To throw is Darnold. Finds his man. There's Jordan Addison. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well. We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now it's Darnold. That one out wide and intercepted. Jack Campbell with a pick. And the Lions are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. Well, when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Tackled by Jonathan Grenard.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Gone. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a first down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. So now following the sack, often the Lions needing to come up with something here on 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
Throwing here on third down, Darnold. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Second quarter, 2 minutes remain. 3-0 our score. On 1st and 10, Darnold. Throw to the right, hauled in by Addison. And bulldozing his way through. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down. Again, Darnold. Looking for Addison again, and he's got him again. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. On first down, Darnold. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Flying in for that sack, Aiden Hutchinson. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Here's Darnold. Pass complete to Addison. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. That goes for a gain of 31.
Oh, I think we all understand his disappointment. Didn't quite get to the end zone, and you know it's just got to be tough to see a yard line underneath you after a play like that. Still, all in all, a huge play, and now they're set up 1st and goal at the 1.
A final shot before the break, Darnold. And he gets it into the end zone with no time left in the second quarter as they take the lead. So they say no to the field goal try late in the half, and it winds up really paying off as they score on the final play.
Yeah, a little bit of a gamble, but they had some foresight as well because they knew they were going to get the ball to start the third quarter. So they thought to themselves, if we score here, we can double up on back-to-back drives when we start the second half.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will take us to the end of the first half of play. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota with the Vikings on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. Now the Vikings offense set to go to work to begin this third quarter. Hey, Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. They'll take it past the 40 to the 41, second down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's third down. Darnold now to throw. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
And he's going to be stopped at about the 37. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Darnold. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And Hawkinson going to have the Vikings first down as he'll get the ball down inside the 30.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Back to throw, Darnold. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. They've done a good job on these receivers, pretty much held them in check, and they're a little too close for comfort.
And you're always looking for a play to get you going, right? You're looking for someone to make one. But maybe this penalty, this pass interference call, that can help shake them loose.
Jones is in. Touchdown, Minnesota. So he had the nice run to get him down there, was stopped just short of the goal line, but they go right back to him, CD, and he delivers to finish the drive off.
A little extra determination there, don't you think, partner? You notice he didn't tap on his helmet and say, get me out after the run down to the end zone. He said, I almost got in. I'm going to get in on my own. I'm staying in. And he carries it across the goal line.
Extra point right down the middle, and that pushes the lead up to 11. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And the last play in the drive was a touchdown run by Aaron Jones. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, the opposition laid down the challenge, an opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a 2-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome? A little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. Only able to gain a couple there, and it's 3rd and 4 now. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
From the gun on 3rd down, Goff. Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Boy, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes, those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Final minute now of the 3rd quarter. 2nd down, another shot for Jones. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. 49 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. On first down, it's Darnold. Slant route, and he's got Addison. Touchdown, Vikings! Jordan Addison, a 16-yard touchdown. And the Vikings are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter.
Partner, remember that old film of Peyton Manning going through the route tree with his great receivers in Indianapolis? I think we're seeing the results of the same type of work here today. These guys know each other so well that they don't even have to call the play. They can just look each other and know the route that's going to be run, and usually the connection is perfect.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
Exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Goff now looks to throw. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the fourth quarter. And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. Up the middle, Jones. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And this defense not ready for that one as he'll take this down inside the 25. That good for 19 and a first down. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Here's 3rd and 6. They'll go again to Jones. And they get him down about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 3rd down pickup of 5.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And the Vikings are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Touchdown! T.J. Hawkinson from 4 yards out. And the Vikings add 6 to their lead. It seemed like they were so focused elsewhere they forgot about the tight end spot, and he's the one that burns him there to make this a 3-score game here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
I think there might be a little bit of defensive fatigue from those guys on that side of the ball, partner, because they've been spending their time trying to stop them from all angles. This time the tight end gets them.
Point after, right down the middle. And they open the lead up now to 25. Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Throwing on third. Goff. Across the middle, he's got it complete to St. Brown. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards. A gain of 8 there on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. They go ahead and snap it. Goff. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. On first down, Goff. He's got his 6'5" receiver. That's Tim Patrick. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now a first down throw. Gone. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Goff now looking to throw. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and this 10-play drive winds up yielding nothing. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, they don't need to score here, that's for sure. They could just kneel it. They've got the huge lead late 4th quarter, but we'll see how they're feeling, Charles.
Yeah, we all know people out there who like to use every second of the clock, no matter what the score. And we know they don't need the points. They've scored in abundance already. Let's find out how they want to finish this ball game.
Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Vikings as we say so long from Minneapolis.